Hello everybody! I'm Hope and welcome back. Well, to a new Let's Play. Voice crack. You know you're excited starting a new game when you immediately voice crack. It's time for Fate Hollow Ataraxia. You've been waiting patiently, and I am here to deliver. Now this episode is going to be uploaded on Shirou Day as the special treat for everybody. We are beginning Hollow in conjunction with Extra, and I am ready to deliver this content to you at a frequent basis. Promise, because I genuinely am so excited for Hollow that I'm probably not going to be able to stop myself from playing it. Which is good, you know? We finished the original Fates Stay Night, and if you haven't seen that Let's Play, then you should go watch it, because you get to see me go through all the emotions and feelings of going through the entire visual novel, realizing that Fate is some peak shit, and seriously, it's so good. But I don't know what Hollow Ataraxia is, other than just a pseudo-sequel that's kind of... like, I don't even know if it's an alternate universe, if it's like a sequel in the Matrix, like Extra is, but I don't know. Why don't we just get started already? I'm excited. There's a lot of things. There's config, extra, special entrance. I don't think we should mess with anything. Let's begin. I really do like this opening track, though. Pretty cool. Okay, we're just beginning. He said he was afraid of the night. Afraid of staying the night? What a loser. Okay. This is already a tonally different game than, the original Stay Night. City is Shinto. Kurokizaka District, Block 4, Semina Apartments, 11th floor, Room 2. That's where he lived. His name was, well, let's just call him Mr. A. Damn it, why can't it just be Kotomine? Mr. A was a student, and having just turned 20, had moved in at the beginning of spring. This was the first time he ever moved, the first time he ever lived by himself, and the first time he was in an unfamiliar neighborhood. Wow! Wow! While Mr. A, an introvert by nature, still felt lost, he was adjusting to life in Fuyuki gradually. Mr. A was comfortable being alone in the first place, and never seemed to care much about having few friends or living amongst strangers. Rather, he preferred things that way. Mr. A, who would shut himself in his room, apparently liked not having his new life disturbed by anyone, be it friends or family. Mr. A was satisfied with his life, except for two things: the long, long hallway leading to the entrance, and the hopeless thoughtlessness of the family that moved in next door 1 month prior. Interesting. What was what was unsettling him began since he moved into the apartment in spring. What his parents had set up for him was an XXX yen monthly 4-bedroom apartment. Why would you need 4-bedroom? The size was nothing to complain about. I can think of a thing or two. While Mr. A loved being alone, he had an inclination towards luxury, didn't favor living plainly. Well, I mean, yeah, your parents are rich. When it came to the dwelling, the bigger the better. For someone like him, who hated the outside world, this place was a fortress. It had to be large and solid. It couldn't be easy to reach. He couldn't relax if it wasn't impenetrable. That's right. It wasn't that Mr. A liked being alone. It was the issue of others being near. He was unconsciously afraid of someone other than himself intruding into his space. There was another reason why Mr. A chose Semina Apartments. It was the distance from the living room to the door. The long hallway was the first and last obstacle to pass through in order to enter or leave the apartment. 4-meter-long hallway stretched in a straight line from the living room to the door. There were neither storage rooms nor a bathroom along the way. It was an unusual hallway for an apartment to have, but it seems Mr. A took a liking to it for its length. It took up the ideal amount of space and was an ideal entranceway. The bar of separation from the entrance was not so much a medium between inside and outside, it was more of an ambiguous boundary. This is Hollow, huh? This is a different opening. It was unnatural. One could say that the hallway itself was the real entrance. However, once he began living there, something about the hallway started to worry him. With such splendid length, what could possibly worry him about it? After being puzzled for several months, he finally figured it out. It was simple. The long hallway had no lights. It looked like a structural flaw had left no space to install any lights. The hallways of the other apartments had them, but only in room 2 of floor 11 were they forgotten. That's certainly interesting. How stupid. Not the worker that forgot to install lights, but himself, who had noticed only not now after living there for several months. Come to think of it, he had already made a wrong turn the moment he had failed to realize what was amiss. Fall came and new tenants moved in next door. They were the kind of happy family you could find anywhere. A young married couple and a 3-year-old daughter. The only contact he had with them was limited to a simple greeting when they were moving in. All Mr. A knew about them was their surname, and the daughter's name. Semina Apartments is an L-shaped building with only 2 apartments on each floor. At the center is the entrance into the building, and each apartment occupies the entire horizontal or vertical part of the L. At the entrance, there's a door leading to the elevator and the emergency stairwell. Sometimes Mr. A would meet the couple at the entranceway, but on rare occasions he saw a daughter alone by herself. Okay, the voices are very loud. Let's turn that down a bit. Voices. Guess I could just turn the master volume a bit. I feel like that's a little low. Nah, that should be fine. I think that works a bit better. Whenever they met, she would say that. The elevator buttons were slightly above her height. It was not too high for her to reach, but for some reason she never raised her hands above her shoulders. While he thought it was strange that a 3-year-old girl would go out by herself, he did what the girl asked. He would see her not just on the 11th floor, but also the entrance on the 1st floor. He would find the girl crouching in front of the elevator as he was coming home or leaving. She would raise her head and say, looking up at him. After having that exchange over and over again, Mr. A learned the girl's name. He did not remember it, however, perhaps because Mr. A had no interest in other people. Instead, he called her Little Red Riding Hood because she always wore a red hood. I'll say it again, Mr. A was an introverted young man. As long as his lifestyle wasn't threatened, he didn't care about the outside world. He had, for example, an argument heard from the other side of the wall, the sound of a little girl crying once every other day, a woman's screams that could only be described as shrieking, the girl not being able to raise her arm above her shoulders due to a neglected bone fracture, or her wearing a red hood to hide the bruises on her face because her father told her to. Well, the stuff that only concerns other people. Oh my god! Yeah, my man literally has no empathy. He's quite living, what a miserable existence. From my perspective, I'm sure as long as he lives his quiet life, he's enjoying it. He's like Yoshikage Kira from JoJo's. Without the serial killing, but you know. The ruckus of the neighboring room was only about a meter away from the door, but who could blame him? It was, after all, a long hall. The source of the screaming was several meters away, and he inevitably had to ignore it while watching TV. But on that night, it was especially loud. A blood-curdling scream, then siren-like crying, and the sound of a door being opened violently, reverberating in the entranceway, and the sound of something banging on Mr. A's door. That night had been aggravating to Mr. A, who had been quietly enjoying a late-night broadcast at 2 a.m. He was about to get up and ask them to behave like reasonable human beings, and so get up he did, but soon sat back down. It'll probably end soon anyway. You know, I'm hoping this isn't someone we know or someone I'm gonna end up actually liking, because so far I hate this guy. Fucking dick. Like, I don't like to get involved in other affairs either, but homie, it's not that difficult to, like, call the police. I get it, the police can suck, man. This could be a Dahmer incident all over again, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you can do something, anything. Whatever it is, it's their own responsibility. Actually, no, this is Japan. I'm pretty sure the police would just arrest him, like, easily enough. So, yeah, right? People ought to handle their own problems by themselves, and so Mr. A took the remote and raised the volume by 5 bars. By the end of the night, as he was turning off the TV and falling asleep, the usual nighttime silence had finally returned. The next day, Mr. A learned that there had been a family suicide next door. Fucking fantastic. It was the first time he had ever been questioned by the police. The night before, after having an argument, Mrs. Bleh murdered Miss Bleh with a blade after slashing Bleh, her only daughter. She took her own life. Yeah. That happens a lot, actually. It's really sad. It can go both ways, too. But, it's hard to call that. It's disgusting, but it's hard to, like, victim blame, like, the wife for this. It's clearly an emotional breaking point of having to defend herself eventually. But then it's cold murder, and then it's taking an innocent life after that. It gets harder to justify. In terms of the morality of this situation, it's just a moral gray area that I think is just disgusting on many fronts. When asked about it, I slept like a log and didn't hear anything, was Mr. A's answer. The officer thanks Mr. A for the cooperation and was about to leave. As he was walking away, Mr. A asked just one question.
一人娘はどうなったのでしょう?
His voice is, interesting. It sounds kind of like Shinji a little bit. Not, like, exactly, but... Lowering his eyebrows, the officer replied,
凶器には血液反応が残っていますから、刺されたことに間違いはありません。結婚からして致命傷であったと考えられます。
Damn. Except, the young officer muttered uncomfortably.
遺体がないんですよ。どこにも。
Okay, we're getting into some mysteries. Okay, mystery moment.
部屋にも、逃げ出した後のエントランスにも。
Okay, we're getting into some meat and potatoes horror. What happened was simple. After being stabbed by her mother, the Little Red Riding Hood seems to have managed to escape into the entranceway. At that point, however, the trail stops. The bloodstains stop in front of the elevator.
なぜエレベーターを使わなかったんでしょうね。
Oh.
いえ、そもそもどうして隣室のあなたに助けを求めなかったのか。いくら錯乱していたからってチャイムを押すぐらいはできたでしょうに。
There's the bone fracture coming in, and your attitude of not caring. Mr. A couldn't bring himself to say that either button was far out of the girl's reach. The officer left, and Mr. A remained standing in the doorway, deep in thought. 2 o'clock at night, he pictured the little girl, escaped from her crazed mother, but unable to leave the entranceway, desperately banging on Mr. A's door on the verge of collapse with a tear-stained face. Do you actually have empathy? And in the end, the girl's body was never found. Several days passed. Late at night, always at the same time, Mr. A started noticing a strange noise. The noise itself wasn't loud. If he didn't pay attention to it, it was almost inaudible. At first, Mr. A didn't think about what it could be. He told himself that it was just wind shaking the window. But the noise came back every night. Bang, bang. It was a noise that was faint enough to be non-existent, yet it was getting on his nerves. And he realized that the noise wasn't from the window, but rather echoing in the hallway. Whoa, what'd that say? The enemy is coming? Mr. A walked down the long hallway and brought himself to the door. He asked who it was through the intercom. No response. The moment Mr. A came up to the door, the noise which had been so soft. Oh! Good use of the visual novel medium there. Classic move by Nasu. Fisheye lens. He looked outside through the peephole. A brown, distorted view. Nobody was there, just a clean-looking entranceway. Nothing except red specks on the cream-colored floor of the... Yeah, this is getting actually really creepy. Ah! Noise didn't stop. Mr. A tried to look deeper into the peephole. Maybe there was someone there. Maybe he could see that... Noise continued. Wait, there was something under the peephole just outside his view. Open it. Something red wearing a hood was clinging onto the door. Oh, okay. He ran back down the long hallway. The clock was showing 2 a.m. Those late night visits became a routine event. It's like he's going through the event from her perspective in like this paranormal experience. Maybe, I don't know if he's just going crazy or if there's an actual paranormal thing happening here. The noise continued every night. Mr. A never opened the door. Then one night it happened again. It was insignificantly quiet. He could have just brushed it off as being part of his imagination. The enemy is hindering? But now it had been an unavoidable angst that had stained his brain, cutting away at his nerves like a blade. With each day, Mr. A's mind was being cornered. It was the end of autumn. He could now hear it no matter what time it was. That night, he came to a decision. He would see for himself what was clinging to the door. He walked down the long hallway. The light from the entranceway leaked in from behind the door. Passing through the unlit corridor, he pushed the door open. There was nothing there. No one there. That painful knocking that had been echoing in his skull was gone as well. Of course, there was nothing. Something that ridiculous couldn't be true. There had never been any noise. There had never been a red hood. Yeah, it's just your, the game might pull a debate, but, like, it's that, regret from your self-consciousness coming to the surface, because it seems like this guy's emotions don't show themselves very clearly. It's very subdued and hidden beneath, layers of masks that he wears in this so-called normal life, that regret is being pushed up through these so-called, like, paranormal illusions, when it's actually just that regret. The relief mixed together. His chilled body rapidly regained its warmth. He had just been hearing things. Somehow, it seemed that incident had gotten to him. Without realizing it, he had felt guilty and developed paranoia. Yep. That was all over. It all ended the moment he opened the door. Phew. Wiping sweat off his forehead, he closed the door. Once he had locked the door, he raised his head. For his very eyes. Down the long, dark hallway that he had been so fond of. Oh, that's just lovely. His eyes widened. In the middle of the corridor, there was something. That's creepy. Oh god, it's Cry. Never even watched that guy. Familiar dead body. It seemed to be pleading at him. Somehow, Mr. A knew that it would be the last thing he would hear before his death. And within the darkness, its lips moved, like a watermelon that had been bored into with a knife. That is creepy. With a blood-stained voice, the Little Red Riding Hood spoke to him.
Oni-chan, botan.
You know, we just cut back and this is just, fucking, it's just Issei reading a story to Shirou. Bruh! It was fiction the whole time! Hate this game. Fuck you, Nas. I was getting creeped out, man. I was getting spooked. I didn't expect to see these three again. I don't remember their names, but I remember them. Oh, this music slaps, though. Man, it wasn't Issei. Ow. Seriously, is there no other option for voices? Oh, voices. Damn it, I have to like manually do them all, really? Makidera, Kaede. That's annoying. Try that, I guess. See if it makes a difference. There we go. Yeah, he's pretty weird. October 11th, past midnight, in a guest room at the Ryudo Temple, Makidera Kaede's shrieking voice resounds through the fall sky.
引っ越せって、それができたら苦労しないでしょ。
I don't know, flag list? Oh, they actually let you keep track of your flags. That's good. I don't know if I should do this for every character or not. Like, it seems a little obtuse. So, do I just lower the main game master volume again? Like that? Maybe. Okay, let's try something like that. I apologize, everybody. I didn't expect the voices to be that loud.
あんただってあんな家出てってやるなんて言ってもう何年よ。
Ow! My god, my eardrums, dude. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna go manually do it then. I'm sorry.
人間ね、多少
Ah,
の
so
不安
much
に
better.
愛着を取るもんなの。
So much better.
みんながみんな幽霊一匹で住処を移してたら、今頃この島はもぬけの殻になってるわ。
I mean, you make a fair point.
眼蓄のある言葉だ。なるほど。我々と階段は切っても切れぬ関係にある。
I don't know about
時に
that.
牧寺、長廊下のお釈師様は健在か？
いいねっつーの。我が家にそんな偉そうなやつはいないね。あと夜中になったら雨降ってないのに廊下が水に濡れたりもしないね。祖先が瀬戸内で海賊なんてやってもいないね。
Yukaide is literally just like mini Taiga.
そっか。牧寺んとこも古い家だったっけ？何？廊下の話は鬼門だった？
Kimon? I don't know what that is. Oh, somebody please tell me in the comments if you're able.
最新のおしゃれなマンションに引っ越して。で、その鬼門ってなんだ？
Oh, okay. Never mind.
チャクラを知っていてなぜ
Yes, it's Issei! My boy's back! He's in extra as well, so that's awesome. I love it. I love my boy. Okay.
強調を表す言葉だ。細かく言うのなら北東の方角。
Understood.
つまり
Ryudo Issei, the son of Ryudo Temple's head monk and the president of the student council. Issei, who came with us as supervisor in his official role, briefly glances at me.
おお、さすが寺の息子。ちゃんとしてんじゃん、そう
So,
いうとこ。
like, are we Shiro right now? That's the question.
けど今はお断り。私が聞きたいのはもっとコスモな話なわけ。幽霊とかそういう話はお門違いだね。
The game opening with like ghosts and shit. I wonder if that's integral to the plot.
ほら、もっとさ、遠坂んちには江戸時代に隕石が落ちてたとか、冬木の地下には大空洞があるとか、そういう現実的な話をし
Except with
ろよな。
realism. I can tell you there is a cabin underneath Fuyuki somewhere. Under Tasaka's place. No, not under Tasaka's place.
いや、今のは十分に現実的な話だったと思うが。
It was certainly scaring me.
先ほどの実話だが、廊下で少女と出会ったということは、真犯人は A 氏で、廊下の壁に死体を隠蔽していたという話だろう。
You know, I never considered that, and now I feel like an idiot. I thought I was good at reading stories. Never mind.
カネちゃん、それも階段とは趣旨が違うと思う。
I can see that happening in many other narrative, but not in many typical ghost stories.
現実的な話をしろって言われてもね。怪談話をなんだと思ってるのよ、牧寺は。まあ、とんでも話なら遠坂の管轄だから待ってればいいの聞けるんじゃない？
There
そ
she
れはあり
is.
ません。牧寺さん好みのとんでも話は知りませんから。
Why are their voices normal? With like, I don't get that. Is that like a bug or something? Yeah. Oh no, it automatically does it. Thank you, game devs. I appreciate that a lot. I really do. But Saigusa Yukika, this one right here, is so fucking cute. Saka counters elegantly. That's her usual manners at this sort of a gathering. And Issei is just stuck with her, man.
そりゃ失礼。じゃあ、マトは？
Captain Motto? Motto, yeah, that's how you say it. I guess Shinji is still the captain of the archery club in this timeline, I guess. No, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, lads and dads, so we in a universe where Sakura is kind of okay, a little bit, at least a little bit. Fantastic. This isn't Heaven's Feel anymore. She lets out. She lets out quietly. No one here knows that Tosaka and Renamato Sakura are sisters yet. We already know this in this universe? Okay. That's good.
和むのはいいが、まだ始まったばかりだろ。続けるのか続けないのか。俺としてはこれ以上牧寺が騒ぐのなら、会を中止させなくてはならないのだ。
He says a horror connoisseur.
そうよね。眠ってるお坊さんたちにいい迷惑だし、牧寺がもう叫ばないって言うなら続けましょう。
騒いでないじゃん。三つ釣りの話がつまんないからダメ出ししただけじゃんかよ。
Wouldn't say it was boring.
問題はそのダメ出しが次にもあるかということでしょうね。牧寺さんに我慢しろというのは呼吸をするなということと同義だから、
Hey man,
割と絶望的だけど。
I can stop breathing whenever I want, okay?
呼吸止められる？
Absolutely.
止められる。私、陸上の次に水泳得意だし。
だそうですので、このまま続けましょう。次
I
は
don't
三枝さんか
think
な？
she could tell a good horror story.
はい。あ、けど私階段ってしたことなくて、大丈夫。無理に怖がらせようと思わなくていいから。綾子のは実際あった話を脚色したたちの悪い話でね。牧寺さんが怖がったのはセミナマンションの事件を知っていたからだろうし。
Okay.
そうなんですか？
うん。セミナマンションの一家心中は実際にあった話だ。その1ヶ月後。
Oh, so it was never confirmed, but that's a likely idea.
エイシの兄ちゃんはなんか理由あって自分探しに旅立ったんだよ。素敵なサムシングなんだよ。いつか一回りでっかくなって帰ってくるんだよ。
This is me rationalizing the ending of normal end of Heaven's Feel. Yeah, Nasu, how could you do that? Oh, this is the true ghost story. He's here with us.
ああ、同じマンションの住人が言うのだから間違いない。そうだろう、三つ釣り。
I think they're adding new effects in the VN with like sliding in frame and also having objects in the foreground.
そういう話だからね。とまあ、私ほど脚色せずとも実際にあった噂話だけで十分ってこと。牧寺は怖がりだからね。三枝さんもその線で攻めてみるといいよ。誰かに聞いたお化けの話とかない？
あ、それなら何個かあります。皆さん、窓辺の幽霊って知ってますか？
I've got a great story to tell.
出した噂なんですけど。
Why don't we tell a story about Fate fans who start with Unlimited Blade Works?
何それ？私は初耳。お化け羊羹の人影ですよね。弓道部の1年生たちが話してたような。はい、そのお化け羊羹です。なんでも冬木のどこかに使われていない洋館があって、夜中に近づくと2階の窓辺からこうじーっと見つめてくる人影があるそうです。
ああ、人影ってどんな人影よ、ゆきっち。 つうかさ、
That's an interesting
冬季のど
nickname.
こかにある洋館って何？
それは私も知らないんだけど、あんまり人が寄りつかないお屋敷じゃないかな。実際見た人がいるらしいんだけど、たまたま道に迷った時に洋館を見つけたんだって。
Oh.
周りは木ばっか
Oh
り
shit.
で人気がなくて、洋館の2階にいたお化けは女の
Einsburns?
人だった
The
とか。
Einsburn mansion?
何それ？人気のない洋館で女が。遠坂、あんたんちお化け屋敷にされてるぞ。
そうなのかな。ごめんなさい、遠坂さん。
That's brilliant.
この話って遠坂さんちのことだ
I
った
mean,
の？
it could easily fit Ilya's too.
謝らないで、三枝さん。うちがご近所からそういった扱いを受けているのは今に始まったことじゃないし。
Baseless slander wouldn't be entirely accurate. The soccer residence is actually a type of haunted house.
じゃあこの話はやめて信徒の話にします。最近夜になると信徒の空に何か大きな糸みたいのが見えるって話なんで。
Unsure of herself, Sagusa Yukika looks at the crowd. I'd say that she is looking for witnesses.
その糸みたいなのが何なのか見たことある人います？
The only
話
strings.
だけは聞いてるが、あいにくとまだ怪異には出会っていない。
And me too.
空って夜空？そのセンタービルの屋上に人影が立っていたなんて話じゃないわよね。
具体的な例えだね。そりゃセンタービルの屋上に赤い人影を見たって話はよく聞くけど、三枝さんの話は別物じゃなくて？
There's something mysterious about the way Mitsuzuri Ayaka looks at Tosaka. So if she knows the truth behind that, Tosaka, who prefers wearing red, makes a sour face. It's been half a year since the fifth. What?! Okay. Oh, apparently this takes place the good ending. That means that she's probably still patrolling the area at night.
牧寺先輩は見たことありますか？
So that technically means soccer's fine. Like, living a kind of... I mean, Zokin could still activate the ticking time bomb, right? But, like, maybe it's fine in this timeline?
ない。だがおそらくは UFO。
私は読めたよ。
Yeah.
牧寺、あんたは
なあ
階段を勘違いしてる。
そうだな。我々がしているのはオカルティックな
Occult,
話
not
だ。
cosmic.
コズミックな話ではない。
Dude, cosmic horror can be just, if not more horrifying than occult horror. So, get out of here.
牧野氏、気の毒だが、いくら待っても君好みなムームー話に出番はないぞ。
Moo Moo. That sounds familiar.
読んでない。あんな面白おかしい電波本なんて購読してないよ、私。
まあそのつまらないところがあるにたまらないのではあるが。ところで、神都上空の蜃気楼の件だが。
Okay, something in the sky is... Everyone shakes their heads. Unfortunately, there are no witnesses. However, I've been getting this feeling from a little bit ago. How should I put it?
そういう噂話なら俺からも一つ。昔から郊外の森には城が建っているという話があるだろう。それに新設が加わった。
Oh, you mean the Einsburns castle or whatever.
何でも城を目指して森に入ると旧
What?
帝国軍の亡霊が現れて入ってきたものを戦場に送り出すらし
Jesus. Okay.
い。いくつかの関門を乗り越えた勇者だけが
Okay, the Maid
幻の
Sisters.
城で一泊できて
It is Einsburn. Eh?
竜道くん、何？念願の相部屋で脳みそとろけちゃった？
俺とておかしな話だと思っておるわ。だが実際に見た者がいるのだから仕方なかろう。
This is funny.
エミヤは今の竜道のヨタ話どう思う？
Finally, are we actually gonna talk? Speaketh? Mitsuzuri shifts the conversation to me. Up until now, I've been just an observer. Oh well, I've been keeping my mouth shut because I don't know how to comment on this, but... Ah... Man, hearing Shirou speak new dialogue is like therapy to me. It's not that I have no idea what it might be. Putting that aside for the moment, I feel bad about breaking the conversation, but I've got to go to the bathroom. You gonna go outside and summon Saber on accident in the bathroom? Yeah, we're about to pull a, Hank Schrader in the bathroom. We're gonna see the big MacGuffin that reveals this next plot point. There goes Makidera as usual, reacting in a weird way. Ever since I started having lunch with Osaka, Makidera has been acting like this all the time. It's chilly outside. The night air in the mountains is cold and crisp, unlike in the city. Exposed to the cool air, my unclear head and ambiguous thoughts become more defined, waking me up. Waking up in the night sky, I let out a heavy sigh. I already walked some 20 meters away from the room, huh? Not every day that I find myself trying to think about something for no reason in the temple's passage. Title screen music. Okay, are we gonna actually get some information? Some information. That would be splendid. Maybe I should try organizing my thoughts on how things ended up being like this. Speaking of things happening to me recently, there's a story of today's training camp. It involves the upcoming cultural festival, Sakura, who's working hard as the captain of the archery club, Mitsuzuri, who was looking out for her, and the strange relationship with the track and field club. At the end of a complicated argument, little by little, a training camp was being set up for the culture festival. Issei offered the location, and I was invited as hard labor. Basically, I'm in charge of the food. Yeah, it's a good idea. Life's as hectic as ever, but at least things are peaceful. 6 months ago, there was a battle for the Holy Grail with all the consequences. In that battle, something was lost and something was gained. It's been enough time to look back and reflect on those events. I've settled down. The Holy Grail War is a thing of the past. There's no reason for another conflict to spark in Fuyuki. Holy Grail is gone, the servants have vanished, the dead won't return, and life continues without problems. There's no need for these days to change. That means that Kotomine is dead. No! You're telling me we get a Fate sequel with no Kirei? Worst game, hate it, 0 out of 10. Where's the Kotomine? Damn it! The factors linking them together are almost all there. Linking a similar tomorrow with yesterday and enjoying the slight changes is the proper way life for a person. My thoughts stop. What the fuck? I'm certain there was another reason for the training camp. Pretty sure there was something standing towards the corner of my vision just now. In the direction of the temple grounds, it's too far off to get a good look. There's a human figure running towards the back hill. It's probably a monk or somebody from the temple. We aren't the only ones in Rito Temple. I really shouldn't be worried about random people. Like, I was supposed to take a piss, but instead I went outside and thought about life. Honestly, that's a mood. Increasing my pace, I jogged down the hallway. Whoops, I've actually done that way more than I'd like to admit, so I get it. Like, you just like, I'm gonna go for a piss, and then you go outside and contemplate your existence. I just bumped into someone coming from around the corner. Excuse me, huh? I gotta say, Media is looking really cute and pretty. Like, goddamn, she's a catch. Okay. Mine freezes. I'm too surprised to even know what I'm surprised about. Dude, she's still got the mommy energy. Oh, yeah. Yes! Ah! Oh my god. Oh! Every time she says that, I just die a little. Caster walks past me. He's as refined and sarcastic as always, but seeing her face unhooded is quite rare. What the fuck? The servants... What was it? Was I so surprised about? Oh god, is this like some... Chain of Memories shit? Like, we're in Chain of Memories right now?
そうだ。キャスターってとんでもなく美人だったんだな。
Dude, you know, Issei was horny for her. And I gotta admit, you be spittin'. She's got the great appealing factor of being both cute and sexy as hell. Like, you got, like, for some characters, there's a major defining aspect to their appeal in terms of, like, attractiveness. There's, like, the cute appeal and the sexy appeal. Characters like Saber can be sexy, obviously, but she's more of a cute character. Rin is more of, like, a sexy character. And Sakura is kind of a mesh of the two. Here, Caster is the most based mesh of the two. And Ryder is just like... I don't know, man. Ryder's just the sexiest girl, probably, in the game. This monologue restarts my frozen mind and I keep on going. Clear my head. Having finished my business, I'm back in the guest room.
そうして八八はよみがえった。村人たちにいびり殺された息子。
Jesus.
可愛い我が子にもう一度会いたいという母親の狂気が。
Dude, when are we getting Issei ASMR
死者
channel?
をよみがえらせたのじゃ。じゃがよみがえった八八には。
Gross.
至るところが欠けておった。手も足も臓物も。脳みそもなかった。
Really liking the piano in this piece, though.
母親は足りない箇所を補うため、毎晩捕まえて閉じ込めた村人たちから。
His eyes are gleaming. I expected no less the son of a monk when it comes to graveyards, corpses, and karma. He has no rival. It goes without saying how Makidera would react, but the ghost story expert Himuro Mitsuzuri and even Tosaka are silently getting ready for the conclusion. What? I saw that. Why are you here, Kuzuki? The fuck? Hold on. There's something weird just... Dude, we really are, like, in this Chain of Memories matrix, like, a combo of the two. Like, damn. Kuzuki-sensei is also quietly listening to Issei's story. Our brave leader, Fujine? What?
虎はなぜ強いと思う
Dude, I can't wait for, the new Hajime no Ippo Taiga anime.
生まれつき怖い話なんて怖くないからだシロウたちは生まれつき怖い話に弱いからそんな特訓をしなければならないのだ
I've never really heard of a story with a tiger in it that's horror-based. So, fair enough. She had sat on the verge of tears, now she's already asleep. This is what they call abdication of leadership. But since she couldn't let a meeting of a crowd of young people in the dark go unmonitored, she asked Kuzuki-sensei to take the reins of authority. But why are you suddenly getting this information in your brain? Like, that's why it happened. It's like it's getting implanted in you.
そうして八八は考える死人になった。だが
Right.
悲しいかな。
Christ, that's it.
ようやく八八が母親の名前を呼べるようになった頃、
Well, hot diggity damn.
母親はとうにこと切れておったのじゃ。邪法は母親の体を蝕んでおったのよ。八八は悲しんだ。よみがえったことはさほど嬉しくはない。ただ、苦痛に耐えて自分をよみがえらせた母親が不憫でならなかった。そうして、八八は自らと同じよう、母をよみがえらせようとしたのじゃが、母が自分に施した作動を丁寧に繰り返しても、村人たちの肉を二山三山、血を二川三川使おうとも。
Damn it! The curse has begun.
ゾンビは勝手に増えるじゃんよかわいそうだから増やしてやれよ
Actually, I think there's a setting that gets rid of that in this game. Let me see. Don't stop currently playing voice when clicking. Oh. my god. Okay, it's fixed. The curse is gone.
今時母ちゃんが2人になろうが10人になろうがあと
No, it
な
still
んで
didn't.
口調変わってんだよ生徒会長
Never mind. Maybe I don't know.
いいところで水を差すな、マキデラ。
It's the Rito family tradition.
流動家の決まりなのだ。さもありなん。母親と八八では立ち位置が違ったのじゃ。教会の問題でな。それは聖者のみが死者を蘇らせられる。
Quite interesting. I like that.
死
That's a
者が
mechanic.
死者を食ろうて仲間にしたところで生き返らしたことにならぬ。それはすでに人ではなく死体を食うだけの結晶を生み出したに過ぎぬのだ。
That's a good lesson. It is true that the wishes of the dead cannot be granted. It is always the breath of life that causes things to happen. Even if the deceased were to be granted life once again, without a doubt, the dead cannot ever bring back the dead. It has always been like that. Only the living can bring back the dead.
それを知らぬ八八は永遠に血肉を集め続ける。蘇らぬ母親のために今でも流動で人の手足を集め続けている。とこれが冬木に伝わるムクロ塚の八八郎。影山の臓物墓場の言われで。
Nice timing. Issei ends his tale. Candle is blown out. His turn is over.
今のはそれなりに聞いたわね。寺の息子が寺に泊まっている時に墓場の話をするとは思いません
You
でした。
somewhat surprised Tosaka.
その大人げなさに脱帽です。
Oh! This is exactly why Issei can never get along with you.
今日はこちらの陣地だからな。仏敵を打ちのめすためなら使えるものは何でも使う。
Oh, hell yeah, my boy. Who's next? The staple of camping trips ghost stories would go around in a circle. Is it
ほら
Shiro?
次はエミヤの番
Just recounts all of Heaven's Feel.
生徒会長の後で大変だろうけど一つ気合の入ったのを頼むわ
And then this one time. Let me tell you about the time that I learned about what the worms do. Oh, that was great. So the worms deep inside of your body make you nut so many times that your brain fries. And when your brain fries, well, I don't have to say much other than become a walking machine. And he just keeps going and going and going, like the Energizer Bunny.
心配には及びません。三辻先輩。先輩、階段には強いですよ。夏場に藤村
Damn,
先生
apparently
を
Shiro's
動かす
good at
の
it.
に効果的ですから。
Everyone's eyes focus on me. I've got a couple of ghost stories on me, but this is the first time I ever told one to this many people. In fact, I don't really like telling stories in the first place. I can't do the weird dramatization, and I can't really tell if they're good or not.
落ち着いてでいいわよ、エミヤくん。いつも通りで、ここが土蔵だと思ってればいいんだから。
Everyone still wants Emiya's, What's a good word for dick? Emiya's sword. There we go. Well, now I feel awkward. Oh, well. It's really not like me, but this is a part of the festival. To wrap up this great trip.
それじゃあ長い話を一つ。
It just tells the entire Hollow Ataraxia story. It's just Shiro's story! Doing something I usually wouldn't. I start telling my story for the first time. An extract is made from the middle. The tale begins from here. Heaven's Feel back night. He's just gonna talk about Heaven's Feel? I told you! I predicted this shit! I told Nasu knew! For an unknown period of time, I was crouching down. Not a single moan escapes me. My throat has been pierced by a rotting branch. My tongue was the first to be pulled out. My vocal organs have been carefully destroyed to silence me. I have no body to struggle in pain. My limbs have been completely severed. It's as if only my heart is still living. My body stopped working long ago, but my sense of pain alone is yet to fail me. Living and being in pain are one and the same. As long as I continue to exist, even as only a heart, the pain won't end. For a long time, I have been left in this sunny spot. It is hope at its highest and despair at its deepest. How idiotic it must be. How idiotic. It must be some detestable figment of my imagination. A misunderstanding coming from my insufficient awareness and inadequate experience. I repeat the cycle of pain and relief. It reminds me of the exercise repetitions I supposedly experienced in my childhood. Up to heaven, down to hell. West, east, west. It's far away deeper than everyone, like a cradle, a paradise of blooms without an exit. It's not painful to have no limbs, to lose myself bit by bit. I'm just scared. I'm scared of being nothing. I can't bear the lie of ceasing to be anything. If nothing comes from this, then this is nothing more than suffering for the sake of suffering. My body is on the verge of death. While desperately wishing to die, I frantically wish to continue living. The contradiction. Are we actually retelling the ending of Heaven's Feel true end here? Men of older times called it hell. Interesting. How wonderful I can hear a silver-colored song. To be honest, die. I mean, that was it's the Holy Grail! Right? That, like, black shit? For a long time, she was in a state of suspended animation. Like I'm smoking crack. Like, the whole crux of Fate Stay Night's, story with Shirou was to tell a story of him eventually overcoming his trauma to the point where he's able to give up on his old ideals and be able to live for something else, as well as wanting to live in and of itself. That was his entire character arc's completion point, and to have that sort of reiterated there, I think, is a really good touch. I'm just interested in who that girl is. She's on the icon of the game, on the file for the application on my desktop. So click, click. It sounds like pebbles hitting each other and is somehow rhythmical, reminding me of a lively polka. Is she just Naminé? Like, is this literally Chains of Memory? Like, I've said it 10 times, but I'm being serious. With an absent mind, I listen only to that sound. Where am I? Can't remember. No, I don't feel like remembering. My indolence is embarrassing. It's ridiculous how I'm awake, but my mind and will are still asleep. Oh, this is a woman. Okay. I strain my lumbering head and limbs and crack the whip at my mulish body? Pushing my arms downwards, I slightly prop up my body that was lying face down. Ooh, this song is nice. I like it. I seem to be on a couch. How long have I been sleeping? When I try to recall that, when I try to recall where I am in the first place, my forehead is struck by severe pain. I feel dizzy. It's almost like the morning after a bout of heavy drinking. You said that you were suspended in a state of sleep or something? Like you were just reanimated now? I have the bad habit of showing off by drinking all night, despite being a weak drinker. Luckily, there isn't a trace of alcohol inside me. While still mentally unfocused and unsteady, I check my surroundings. I ought to be in a mansion. I don't recognize it. I can't recall why I'm here and why I've been asleep until now. The sound continues. There's no clock. It's pitch black outside. My gut is telling me it's past midnight. Inside there's... No, I can't see at all. Not only do my arms and legs feel heavy, but my vision has also been weakened, it appears. I know the layout of the room, but it's too blurry for me to get a good view of it. Still, I attempt to grasp my current situation, and finally... What the hell? I only noticed that in front of me. Someone is sitting with his back faced towards me. It is too dark for my weakened vision, so I can't quite make it out. I can still tell that it is the shadow of a man. The man is sitting and looking downward. He is in a reading posture and pays no notice to me. It looks as if he is engrossed with something. What is he doing? I slowly push myself up and look at his hands. It was easier for my arms and legs to recover than it was for my mental ability and vision. Once I start moving, my mobility will increase the more I move. It's not a book he's occupied with. I believe it is a picture puzzle. Simple game with the picture broken up into 16 pieces. One of the pieces are moved and the rest are shuffled and then moved into the open block to bring it back into the original picture, I think. Now, those games are really fun but extremely challenging. It is amusement aimed at children that everybody's picked up at least once. He's still occupied with the puzzle. I stopped looking at him and raised myself up to a sitting position on the sofa. So we have a servant here. Or so it seems, but the Holy Grail War is over. This shouldn't be possible. He says as if he were an old friend of mine. I'm startled by my mumbled voice. He laughs viciously. His voice is irritating, but I don't feel any anger. Stunned, I look at him in confusion. That question came first. No matter how hard I try, I can't remember why I'd been asleep. He furrows his eyebrows, odd considering I can't see very well, and points to the corner of the room. There's an old, dull mirror in the corner. Right? I can do everything on my own, I guess. Walk up to the mirror on unsteady feet. There isn't any lighting, and the pale moonlight sharpens the darkness. There's a cloudy mirror, abandoned for many, many years in this god-forsaken mansion. In it, looking at me stunned, is unmistakably myself. Okay, it is not, this is not the girl, then. That's threw me for a loop. Good bait and switch. This is a new character. She's really attractive, though. She's got a birthmark under her eye, on her upper cheek there. Immediately plus, like, 2 attractive points for me. I don't know why. My voice slips out. This doesn't make any sense. Why am I startled at seeing the body that I'd grown up with for more than 20 years? Dark red hair and eyes, an unlikable figure, useful only for intimidating others. Armor of male attire that denies any femininity. Yeah, she does have a very masculine figure, but I still see the femininity. This is me. Same old me. The same plain old Bazet Fraga McRemitz? And yet I am still startled. I can feel that there is something wrong with the figure shown in the mirror. As if there is something extra, and as if something that ought to be there is missing. Just as that paradoxical notion entered my mind. What? That one word, he erased the small doubt that something was out of place. Master. Why had I forgotten that word? Battle for a miracle, 7 magi putting their lives on the line, the Master, the ultimate familiar, wielding the Holy Grail. That is why I am here. Excuse me, okay. To participate in the great ritual known as the Holy Grail War of this Asian island country. But it's over. Holy Grail is a holy artifact said to grant the wishes of its master, but there is yet to be one who has obtained the true Holy Grail. So did you try to participate in the Holy Grail War, the 5th Holy Grail War, but were unable to? And it's in the future now, so it is ultimately no more than a legend. The Holy Grail Summon of Fuyuki is an imitation based on this legend. However, though it may not be the original, as long as it is a powerful artifact that grants wishes, it is called the Holy Grail. And you won't learn that till so many hours into the game. They just tell you outright here. To the Magi, the matter of true and false is a lesser issue. The main concern is whether or not the imitation is powerful. In that case, the Holy Grail and Fuyuki could be said to be of great concern. 726?
我らが理想とする秩序に基づき、これを人の世より隔離せよ。
That makes sense, but out of 726 grails summoned, only 5 resulted in a war? That was the decision of the Mages Association, an organized self-defense body for the concealment of magic. The Holy Grail War of this land is a competition between magi. There's a limit to the number of participants. The association was only allowed 1 seat. The person who to be chosen was one who was a specialist at combat, a person that was suited to use magic not for the sake of academia, but as a weapon. Do we know of anybody in Stainite that could fit this? Wait. Okay. Kotomine wasn't the original participant, right? He wasn't an original participant. But didn't Kotomine kill a woman who was Ku's master? But in that case, is this the same woman, and did Kirei's death make her come back? Cause magic voodoo shit? But this isn't Ku, this is someone else. It is a Far Eastern island country's ritual, one that has nothing to do with the faction struggles within the association and is nothing but a nuisance. Battle where defeat is not allowed, but victory would bring no glory. I was selected for that very battle. This meant using an artifact passed down within my family as a summoning catalyst for my servant. Carrying the burden of the prestige and trust the association and the means to fight, I departed. Tell me what the catalyst is. Everybody gangsta until a priest shows up.
バゼットフラがまくれ3つ。君は優秀な魔術師だ。こと戦闘において君の右に出る者はいない。
Well, that is...
では君の立場が危うくなるからね。
Well, if she was that powerful, she would have thrown a big wrench into the war, then things could have played out a lot differently. Laughing spitefully, they saw me off, as they said it was only in combat that they had absolute faith in me as well as derision. Traditional carrier, God's holder. Oh, tradition. It's like a, that's a cool little feature they added in this game. Or the translators did. I don't know if it's in the original or not. The other name I am called by, an ability in magic making use of the old blood passed down in my lineage that determined who I am. Whenever I hear of the old blood, I just think of Bloodborne.
そうだ。私はマスターとして聖杯戦争に参加した。
To fight in and win the war as a magus of the association. That is my mission. That alone should have been my mission. Gotta be the same one, right? But why? I have a vague feeling that I was looking for something other than the Holy Grail. Something or someone. If that was the case, there may have been someone I wanted to meet more than getting the Holy Grail. I can't remember. What happened to me in the last few days? I know who I am, but what happened later? What happened since I came to Fuyuki is a blur. I remember joining the battle as a master. I remember patrolling the city with my servant. There are still many blanks the last few days, that's right. My memory of everything that has happened since I came to the city has been clouded. It's gotta be the one Kirei killed. Why have I been sleeping in this house in the first place?
Oi. いつまでもボケっとしてんじゃねえぞ。
This guy does give off some like coup energy, like a little bit.
時間もねえんだ。さっさと片付けに行こうぜ。
The figure that is speaking to me, he's a servant, a being given form from the summoning of a legendary hero, what is called a heroic spirit. They are the most powerful familiars that a human being can control. There's a path between masters and servants to supply magical energy. My magical energy, to be more direct, my life energy is what powers that servant. I can tell that my body is acting as the wedge that pins the servant to this plane of existence. He is definitely my servant. But still, was this the servant I summoned? There we go. Yep.
お前は私のサーバントなのか?
Okay, straight to the point. I ask while struggling with this headache. Nani? Oh, just huh? The servant rose up and is now staring at me, finally noticing that something is amiss.
あんたさ、その様子からすると、まだ本調子じゃねってこと。
Okay. The shadow sways almost like a flame. I can feel it in my guts. This man may be my servant, but he's certainly not on my side. Yeah, he's got... Actually, no, not Ku energy, Gil energy. That is the sort of wild animal that would kill his master to become free as soon as he gets the chance. The relationship between master and servant is not based on trust among employer and employee. It is only a relationship of cooperation based on mutual gains and losses. And the ability to make them commit suicide at one's will, but, you know... Letting down one's guard, showing even the slightest weakness, means risking being stabbed in the back that very instant.
心配して相棒様が聞いてるんだぜ。答えるのが筋ってもんじゃねえの。
そうですね。正直に言うと、私の性能は低下しています。運動に支障はありませんが、意識に混乱が見られます。特に昨日の記憶が曖昧だ。
I looked back at the servant to reveal my current disorder. However, I didn't reveal what had to be hidden. I cannot tell him that my vision is weakened, nor that my memory is not vague, but rather missing. These are my current weaknesses. If I told him, that servant would immediately bear his fangs at me. Good thinking already. I like her. Best I can do is behave normally while getting information from the servant and trying to recover my memory.
記憶が曖昧？俺を呼んでおいて何も分かってない。聖杯戦争のことも。自分が誰
Bitch, I don't even know who you are.
おいおい待てよ。勘弁してくれ。それじゃあズブの素人と組んだ方がいくらかマシじゃねえか。
いえ、自分が何者なのかははっきりしています。あなたを召喚したことも、マスターとして聖杯戦争に参加したことも覚えている。例えば、どうして私がここで眠っていたのか、どうもよく思い出せない。
She's good at playing, yeah. Without showing any signs of weakness, I tell him the truth. Whether it worked or not, the taint of suspicion that the servant had been carrying grows fainter.
質問を返しますが、私はどうしてここで眠っていたのか。
なんでかって。そんなもん俺が知るが。この洋館を隠れ家にするって言ったのはあんただし、俺を召喚してすぐ疲れたから休むって言ったのもあんただ。そのあたり覚えてないのか
？Yes, before coming to Fuyuki, I did investigate suitable safe houses as potential bases of the association. Among the ones I checked, yes, this mansion should have been one of those. Is this the mansion that Kiri would have killed her at? My mind grows hazy. When I try to recall what happened, I start to feel faint. I shouldn't push myself too hard right now. I have to hear what happened for the
この
servant.
洋館を隠れ家にすると決めたのは私でしょう。それには覚えがあります。そしてあなたを召喚した。
I remember indistinctly that this happened. I did form a contract with this servant in this mansion.
そうそう。で、すぐに眠ったんだよあんたは。名前だけ名乗って私が起きるまで行動するななんて言いやがった。
How peculiar.
おかげでこっちはたまりまくりだ。殺し合いに呼ばれたってのに、なんだってお預け食らってなきゃなんない。
So I'm gonna guess that his purpose for being summoned is killing, which is quite different from a servant. Is this a heroic spirit instead? But like maybe an anti-heroic spirit? Like would that exist? But I don't know. Only my name? No, more importantly, what the servant is saying is dangerous. It is very reassuring that he loves fighting, but it will be a problem if he loves it more than is
待ち
necessary.
なさい。確認しますが、私たちは基本的な戦闘方針すら話し合っていなかったのですか？
ないよ。きっと必要なかったんだ。あんたは事前にこの町を調べていたろうし、俺だって聖杯戦争がどんなものか呼び出された時点で頭に叩き込まれてる。要はより早く効率的に手段を選ばず他のマスターを殺していけばいいって話じゃんか。
It's not indiscriminate
相談
killing.
することなんてねえよ。
It's just to kill the masters, then. My bad. It's just that the way it was phrased.
恐ろしい顔するなあんた。そう睨むなよ。おっかねえじゃん。何？俺気に障ることでもいい？
ええ。あなたとは相互理解が必要なようですね。
Damn, right.
私のサーバントがそんな
They're
考
not
えなしで
compatible
は
at
腹が
all.
立つ。私は教会を代表する魔術師であって猛獣使いになる気はありませんから。
Damn! I stare and try to intimidate him. Whatever, said the servant, averting his eyes.
ま、相互理解はできないと思うけど。
He mutters as if it doesn't concern
いい
him.
さ。で、何？教会の代表様はどんな戦いがお好みで？
ことは隠密に無駄な戦いは行いません。まずは敵マスターの調査を優先。今回の聖杯戦争がどういったものかを把握した後、倒すべき順番を考慮し、撃破に移行します。
I don't think anybody else had that strategy besides maybe like Ren at the beginning. Those were the orders received from the Association. First, I have to gather information on the 3 families that administer the Holy Grail War, Ainsburn, Tosaka, and Makiri. An investigation of the remaining 3 masters will proceed afterwards. It may be possible to convince Magi to abandon their master status, but there also may be other outstanding Magi that ought to be taken into custody by the Association. Besides, to act without proper information is an embarrassment for a Magus of the Association.
は使いっ走りの犬じゃあるまいし、敵は見つけたら殺せよマスター。結局は潰し合う同業だ。出会ったら最後逃げられないし逃がさないものだろう。
I didn't need him to tell me that. I feel the same way, but I can't disobey the orders of the Association.
従いなさい。教会は神秘を隠匿するための組織です。下手な騒ぎはできません。それに無秩序に戦えば一般人に犠牲が出てしまう。聖杯の入手は絶対条件ですが、町の人間を巻き込むことは極力避けるべきだ。
This is not only a matter of the Magus Association, the Holy Church also has involvement in the Holy Grail War. Speaking about them, should any damage be brought to the city, they will vigorously move in to conceal it to ensure the smooth continuance of the ritual. There's a limit to this, however. Last time in the Fourth War, there was a master that killed indiscriminately and daily. The priest, monitoring, viewed the master as an enemy and penalized him severely.
それは手段を選ぶってことかな。俺には思いつかないが、勝ち残るための一環として殺しはしない方がいいとか。
勝ち残るためではありません。私とて魔術師です。必要であれば手は下します。ですが、それでも人として最低限守るべきものがあるでしょう。
ああ、そりゃなんつうか。
He sounds unenthusiastic. The servant empathetically breathes out and...
あんたさ、霊術使ってくんない？
Okay.
私には逆らうな、みたいな。
Yikes. Yeah, he doesn't like that. He did not like your approach here. It seems like this Bazet person is kind of like a mix between both sides of Rin, like the Mega side of Rin and like that part human side. But the part is Bazet is justifying it through the action of what the Association is telling her, but it very much seems that there's a human part of her that does care about people and doesn't want to get people involved here. So she kind of embodies, I would say, both sides of the Magus. Like Gulp. He's serious. He doesn't care about what would happen next. The rule of cooperating with a master for his own protection doesn't apply to him. This bastard is seriously aiming for my throat. The servant told me to use a command spell to stop him. 3 absolute rights of the order that a master has. Powerful spells given by the Holy Grail. The master's trump card that can only be used 3 times, but ensures that any command is followed. For that reason, I answer him immediately.
断ります。飼い犬に命令される主人などいないし、飼い犬に殺される者など主人ではありません。
Well, Bazat's got a pair of lady balls.
あなたは私のサーバントだ。あなたがどう動くか、あなたがいつ死に挑むかは
she is an absolute savage. Force back his bloodlust with my own. No matter what, if I use a command spell for something as frivolous as this, I had no future in this war. I clench my right fist and start carving runes into the floor with my heel to be able to intercept an assault at any time. Okay, that's awesome. She's capable, and I like that.
なるほどね。なら考え方を変えてみるか。
This guy is weird.
OK。俺はあんたのサーバントだ。飼い主には従うよ。
Servant gave in easily. It's, how should I put it, anticlimactic? My heart was beating in excitement at the feeling that a battle was going to break out, so I could learn how powerful servants were.
なんだよ。それでも文句あんの？
いえ、問題はない。本当に私の言葉を理解しているのですか？
ああ。できるだけ死人は出すなってんだろ。それがマスターの方針ってことは理解したよ。で、他にはまだ言っておくことってあるか？
There are many things I want to say in detail, but I have nothing else to say regarding a general plan. The rest I can do by giving orders depending on the situation.
なら行こうぜ。いい加減ここにいるのも飽き飽きだ。
The servant prods me to go out. I'm still physically unstable, but I am curious about what is going on outside. Anyway, after sleeping for such a long time, I want to move around freely a
わ
bit.
かりました。細かい方針は状況に応じて変えていきましょう。
To regain myself, for the time being, I'll leave the rock behind. I'll leave Rach behind? Ratch? Rach? Roch? There are limits to that sword, and I can't use it fully in my current state. After I locate the other masters, I can think about who to use it on.
かしね、できるだけ死人は出すな。
Oh, jeez.
いいね。そうできたら最高かもな。
Damn. I'm really curious about this guy. I'm gonna just assume this is like the Emiya of this game. It's gonna take a while to decipher this guy's identity. The servant repeats cheerfully.
含みがあるのなら言いなさい。私の方針に意見があるなら、ここで型をつけましょう。
だから理解したって。おっかねえからあんたとはまだやり合わねえよ。けどさ、それは無理なんだ、マス。死人を出さないとか周りを巻き込まないとか関係ないよ。あんたがどう頑張ったところでこの4 days しか持たないんだから。
No longer than 4 days.
なんですって？
外に出ればわかる。とっくにそんな状況じゃねえってな。この町の人間は日々溢れ出してる。Okay,
now I'm actually very confused, but I'm interested. I'm sickened but curious.
そんなバカな。あなた、私の記憶が曖昧だからとつま。
外に出ればわかる。百聞は一見にしかずだ。
Servant stifles his laughter. As I stand bewildered, the black shadow takes my hand and starts walking.
さあ、聖杯戦争を続けよう。
This is interesting.
バゼットフラガマグレミッツ。
This game's starting to get juicy.
今度こそ君の望みを見つけるために。
This time for sure. Please show me what it looks like out here, so I can like get one answer at the very least. The house is built on top of a high hill. The church on the hill. It lies hidden within a forest, separated from any human habitation. My head aches. I had thought that breathing the outside air would clear myself more or less, but instead, the cold night air only clouds my thoughts further.
どうしたマスター？まだ外に出るのは早かったか？
Servant pokes fun at me. I shake my head and keep going. My mind is still the bright moonlight seems to be the source of my disorientation. Yeah, that if I saw that in the middle of the night, I think I'd shit my pants. I'm glad they composed new music for this game instead of just using all the old tunes. Like the old tunes are great, but I just really like the extra effort to make this game its own identity. It's quiet. Of course, it's past 2 a.m., but the city is abnormally silent even for this time. Oh man, this song's good. It slightly resembles my own hometown, the port town I spent my childhood in. At night, the tide would come into the town and people would shut themselves in their houses as if they were afraid. The empty city was almost like a ship sunk at the bottom of the ocean, prompting a younger me to want to run away from that place. I must have felt that everybody would have forgotten that I existed if I had stayed like that at the bottom of the ocean. I couldn't help thinking about the old gods that nobody remembered anymore, sharing the same cursed fate. And now, Fuyuki is being submerged into the ocean depths, too. The atmosphere is different from the one I remember. It is too quiet. It might as well be an abandoned city. Sorry, I just had to take in the music. This track is really good. Regardless, only the presence of life is evident. I could feel almost countless numbers of creatures breathing. Surrounding me is an aura that I have never felt before. Serious things is what my servant said. I don't want to admit it, but it seems that there's credibility to what he says. We've been walking for some 2 hours. The servant stops in his tracks and is now gazing at a particular residence. Are we at the Matos? He speaks with an impressed tone. The house he's looking at is nothing more than a regular building. If there's anything that distinguishes it from the other residences, it is the one fact that the lights are on. The reason I thought that this was the Mato residence is because it reminded me of the walk to it, like this area.
一足先に俺が様子を見てきてやるよ。
Servant starts walking towards it on his own accord. I try to chase after him. Pathetically, I am thrown off by the moonlight. Gotta be honest here. I can't speak for the other servants, but see me? I didn't feel like doing this from the get-go. High-level magic, the summoning of beings purified into the level of legends, and the giving of form to them to make them familiars, that's what servants are. Not something so cheap as just borrowing a piece of the power of the heroic spirits. No, it's actually a projection of the guy himself. Resurrection, just for the Holy Grail War, a clone with a short lifespan, a guardian of humanity reborn into the modern era. Sounds nice and dandy. Autonomous weapons are pretty convenient, right? Except replicating even what's on the inside is going a little too far, don't you think? Familiar being able to think doesn't do anyone any good. That goes double for servants. Suppose there's a familiar more powerful than its master. Now let's say it can think for itself. There's no reason why it won't revolt. I was lucky enough to be summoned by a master that was my type of woman. Personally, I'm satisfied with her. Looks like I'm gonna be doing some disobeying. What the? Why is it showing the Anger Minyu baby fetus? That's what I'm curious about. We don't know who this is either. Why? Well, why not? I might not have any complaints about the boss, but I've got a hell of a lot to say about society. This guy has like this chaotic, evil energy to him. Except replicating even what's on the inside is going a little too far, don't you think? That line could be an alluding to him being the great world of fuck. The only thing I could think of is that I don't know how I don't know what crack I am smoking, but this is like, if this isn't Angra, then it has to be connected to Angra somehow. I feel like shit. I was left hanging in the morgue. Back when I was alive, the world was still lively. Nowadays, it's old and dying. Got a few 100 million years left before it kicks the bucket, and it's too late to do anything about it. Being one of those fellows that knew what she was like back in the old days, it wouldn't be right to not be a little angry about her current predicament and all that, really. Of course, it was pretty obvious that she'd be clean dry one of these days, but damn, that was fast. Now, there's a part of me that's got to hate my own species for that filthiness, but another part of me wants to pat them on the back at the same time. The power of humanity is incredible. Oh, how morals have come and gone in the blink of an eye. Makes me wonder just how many new generations of humanity have been born and how many have been wiped out. Given how fast they are, it's too bad how they haven't come up with a kind of evolution that's environmentally friendly. Got to hand it to them, hominids. They sure did a great job at amplifying a ready-made system instead of finding a new kind of cycle. But that means there's no future ahead, so if they can buy a little more time, it'd be nice if they could come up with some new kind of improvement and keep going. They've already gone to all the troubles of destroying this much. Where do we want to go? Why have we exhausted this land? Was this good? Was this bad? Want results that anyone can understand, even if the answer is that it was a failure. I don't mind one bit. Those of heroic spirits status must have feelings of animosity towards this era. And again, yeah, Gilgamesh. Then again, heroic spirits are supposed to be on humanity's side, so that would mean they'd approve of whatever result humanity brings about, just like how I do the opposite of that. Let's say there was this godlike absolute being as a force of God. Let's say he was summoned into here in this day and age. Now what would he do? Would he approve of it? Would he act to protect us? If he approves, we face extinction. If he protects us, he'll watch on. A sane heroic spirit would choose the latter. One with a few screws loose would happily lend a hand, and another with only one screw left would get excited at making the world a better place. Be like, I am going to save the world. Wow, I don't ever want to meet that kind of guy, let alone fight him. Oh, interesting. Now, as for me, there's only one thing I can do either way. Maybe a heroic spirit, but I'm not that strong. Take a look at all the legends of the world, and you still won't find anybody weaker than me. Really? Okay. Yay, I'm number 1. You're damn lucky, Master. Can't get any lower than this. Easy to make up a battle plan since all there is to do is to think about how to take on the strong. I don't want to think about it, but there's a good chance that lady's stronger than me in pure fighting ability. That is different. A heroic spirit getting his ass kicked by a human? Oh boy, I want to disappear.
だよな。正直いただけねえよ。あの女。
Don't cause any deaths, that's what she said. That's the way to go, Milady Magus to the house of whatever. Can't expect a finer strategy that reeks of sheltered girl and honor roll. Getting sense of pure humanity for a master. But hey, I can't do that. All I can do is kill. Honestly, a bloodless victory is a pain in the ass. I'm already the weakest, I'm not gonna be winning if I'm a goody two-shoes. This thing does have war in the name, so we ought to be relying on the slaughter techniques that man had so painstakingly developed. Yeah, he's speaking as if he knows humanity and it's evil. This has gotta be Angra. If it isn't, then I don't fucking know. I didn't expect them to give enough clues to figure this out this early, because if this is the case, then yeah, they're not really hiding it. Servants are one thing, but masters are humans. It'd be way easier to take them out with mines and explosions like the last time. Oh, yeah.
ま、今はそんな時代じゃないけどな。前は物騒な時期だったからな。命の扱いは
Yeah,
安かったん
times
だ
have changed. This time things are different. The Mages Association is watching oh so painstakingly close. Plus the system of public safety that modern man has created is not too shabby. If I run wild, the other masters will figure out where Bazet is. Now I don't mind finishing off a horde of people nice and fast, but consecutive fighting on consecutive nights is going to exhaust me, so I want to avoid that. On that point, the part of Bazet's strategy about not going overboard is fine with me, so I'll try my best to follow the master's plan like a good servant would. Well then, that out of the way, let's turn back to what we have now.
待て。何をするつもりだお前は。
Ignoring my hesitant master's voice, I'm heading to the house. I don't have to bother checking. The fact that the lights are on means there are live humans inside. Unfortunately, I don't have any human or heat detecting abilities. My servant skills can be summed up as nothing. But that's okay. What's inside there is human. I dematerialize myself and pass through that front door. Manifest my weapon and go towards the people in the living room. Let's finish this, fast and cruel, like always. Now, for all I know, there could be some accident like the strongest ultra-humanoid in all of human history is inside and has powers that surpass a heroic spirit, no problem whatsoever. I may be the weakest, but I can defeat the most powerful human being. Why? Because it's not something to brag about, but when it comes down to dealing with humans, I'm the strongest. Blood splashes up in the air. This motherfucker. The inhabitants are dead. One middle-aged man, two boys, one granny, one old man holding a blood-stained knife. Oh, he's still alive. What a letdown. By the time I broke in, it was already over. His breath is ragged and heavy. Oh my god, it's Berserk! The mad culprit who massacred those four. He doesn't pay any attention to me. Probably because he wants to take out the last geezer. Okay, so, interesting. The geezer backed himself up to the wall and is desperately shaking his head. The murder scene and method are pretty grisly to look at. The bodies are ravaged beyond recognition. Blood, flesh, and entrails are splendidly scattered about. Choking stench of a life, a living space splattered here and there. The end roll for the Brady Bunch. What the fuck? Okay. Damn clean for a murder scene. Not one little flaw. After all, it was a murder for murder's sake. No robbing, no raping, no hungering, not one bit of that here. I'll save him since he asked. Since it was a surprise blow from behind, the murderer is killed easily. After that, I'm back to my regular job. My eardrums just popped. By the time I ran into the house, it was all over. There are 5 corpses in the living room. I'm able to tell by what appears to be 5 heads severed from the nose. Jesus Christ! It is a slaughter scene so grotesque that I could not have determined how many there are through any other means. The servant says, while standing idly in a pool of fresh blood. In the servant's clenched hand is a warped dagger. A form that seems to be a mix of fangs and claws of a beast. It is meant to be gripped backhanded. I've never seen a weapon that looks so difficult to use. So that weapon is his noble phantasm. His symbol is a heroic spirit. Like, I didn't exactly do it. Shadow laughs in agreement. There's no need to investigate any further. The situation told me that the cause of this tragedy was the servant.
私からの質問は一つです。なぜ殺したのですか？
なぜって、これもあんたのためだぜ。俺は当たりを探しているだけだ。一人一人調べるのも、要は目撃者を作らなければいいんだろ。ならよ、こうして潰していけば、いつかマスターに
He's
出会える
technically
ぜ。
not wrong.
お前は。
This guy, he hadn't listened to anything I said. I was prepared to accept some sacrifices once I went into battle. I'm a magus and I'm no different from a murderer. However, still, I never desired this kind of meaningless
お前
sacrifice.
は人を殺すことが楽しいのか？
あ、バカ言うな。俺だって好きでやってるわけじゃねえ。こうして求められた以上、自分にできることをやっただけだぜ。あのさ、人型をしてるからって勘違いするなよ、マスター。サーバントってのは、つまるところこういうもんじゃないのか？
質問に答えていない。私は人を殺すのが楽しいのかと聞いたのです。
I glare at the servant. Holding that warp dagger, the servant.
とりわけ何も。第一、殺しちゃ楽しめねえだろ。
Damn. I wanna, like... I don't know. What's your game here? He directed a repugnant laugh as if wanted me to share in his amusement.
貴様、それでも英霊か。
So, is he similar to Kirei in the way that he views entertainment of the amusing of people suffering? Can't restrain myself. It's strange, I've seen people like him countless times, yet without any reason I feel disgust at this man's way of life. Wait, it would only make sense why this guy is similar to Kirei. Duh. It is. It's Angra. This is the whole point. Why Kirei wanted answers from Angra. It somehow feels as if this man alone must not be
あ
forgiven.
んたこそ、殺し合いが向かないんならマスターになんざなるな。しらけるんだよ、実際。つまんねえ。せっかくの賞が台無しだぜ。喜んでもらえると期待してたのにさ。
そう。悪いけど、その期待には最後まで応えられない。今確信したわ。私たちは反りが合わない。あなたは私が最も嫌う人格だ。
I turn my hostility towards my own servant. I direct hatred similar to annoyance at the person I have to gain trust from first. I'm not acting right. The immaturity of showing my feelings and hating someone should have been discarded long ago. Yeah, you're not acting like a typical magus here. Very interesting.
へえ。いいね。俺も基本的にあらゆるものが下手に気を許されるとイラつくんで、それぐらいがちょうどいい。こういうのも気が合うっていうのかね。
So if this has got to be Unger, then I'm really enjoying him. I did expect that we'd actually get to see a summoned version of him, because he existed as a human being. The servant shows no signs of caring. I hate him. He doesn't think of anything of me. So there will be no cause for friction even if we despise each other, as we have no plans to bond.
けどさ、あんたは割と好きな部類に入る。
Except, he just said something
な
odd.
ぜですか？あなたはあらゆるものが気に入らないのでしょ？マスターとして、あなたがどのようなサーバントかは理解できる。
とりあえずいい女だからな。気に入らねえけど好感を
Weird.
抱いてるんだ。
That is weird.
私が女だからという理由ですか？
女じゃなくていい女。あんたさ、
Yo,
えらくそそ
that
る
ain't,
んだよ。
that ain't fucking weird at all.
体つきも好みなんだが、優等生なところとか、一般論を守ろうとしてるところとか、みっともなさすぎて見ていられない。わかる？こんな単一機能を発揮しただけの仕事じゃなく、何らかの意味を持って殺したくなるぐらい、あんたは俺を
That's
欲情させ
disgusting.
てるってこと。
Kind of reminds me in like a twisted way of like the way that Kirei felt towards Shirou, in a way. Not the. I don't think Kirei wanted to fuck Shirou. No. I'm just, you know, Shadow laughs. Yep, the die. This is Angra. Intent flows in through our connected paths, so dense I can physically feel it. The servant isn't lying. He hates all things. By nature, he sees everything as an object to kill, without reason or reward. There could be no other explanation. Not for this pure hatred that can turn into a curse without having to use the incendiary device of magic just by existing. That leaves me with questions. For someone with as much bloodlust as him to not kill me earlier doesn't make any sense.
先ほどの話ですが、あなたはまず私を殺すと言い、それを抑えた。私に欲情しているあなたが令状なしで、どうやって私への欲求を抑えたのですか？
ああ、あんたはマスターだからな。あんたは人間じゃないってさっきルールを作ったところ。
Because you're my master, I'm just gonna make this rule. You're not human.
まあ、要するにこの世で唯一殺す気に
That's
ならない生き
interesting.
物になったってわけ。
Weird, but
見てくれは女だけど中身は人間じゃないっつが攻略対象外の生物にカテゴライズしたんだよ。
that kind of stings a little bit. That was direct. For some reason, I find his answer incredibly hurtful. Yeah, it's yeah.
私を人間扱いしな
Not
い
even as a woman, despite him finding you attractive. It's just you're just this being. I've heard people say before that I'm boring or that I'm not charming, but this has to be the first time it wasn't treated like a woman. Ah, no, he said as a human being, but that is how it sounded to me.
あれ信用できねえか？最大限の情報なんだぜ。こんなの最初で最後の特例なんだぞ。くそ、頭くるな。こっちは本気なのに。はいはい、そうですか。形のないものは見えませんか。しょうがない。こういうのなら信用できる？
So he interpreted my silence as suspicion. He tears out a page of a notepad from the blood-soaked desk and writes something on it.
おい、これあげる。誰かに譲ったりしないように。
Certificate of exemption from murder. Valid until the end of the Holy Grail, or in a well-written Japanese.
何ですかこれは？
何って人間じゃない証明書。
What the fuck? You're an asshole, and I kind of like it.
これなら誰が見てもあんたは攻略対象外ってわかるだろ。
Good for you, he says, pushing the piece of paper into my hands. Yes, my judgment was correct. The servant and I are hopelessly doomed to not get along. We cannot afford to stay at the murder scene forever. Hurriedly, we leave the residence behind. I have my complaints with my servant acting without my permission, but it is already too late. By continuing to argue with him, the only thing that would result is further mistrust. However, there is one thing I feel that is strange about him. I cannot trust the servant. Masters and servants are linked. Because of that, I can feel that he is fundamentally the kind that enjoys murder and completely kills his opponents ruthlessly, no matter who or what. He is my complete opposite. I complete my missions without leaving room for personal feelings. However, this servant does so only with personal feelings. He operates only on the emotion of wanting to kill people. But despite
なん
that...
だ？よそに行くんじゃないのかマスター。それともあれか？ここで異常を聞きつけてきたマスターどもをはめ殺すかい？
そんな見えすいた罠にかかる魔術師はいませんし、戦闘は第2段階からです。まずは調査からと言ったでしょう。
いや、結構いそうだぜ、間抜けなルーキーは。例えば、夜の巡回に精を出して勝手に死んでそうなやつとかな。下調べなんてやってたら他の連中に食われるってのがわからねえんだよ。ほんと、富士の善人だね、ありゃ。
I ignore my servant's chatter and walk ahead. And yet, despite all of his negative points, I don't feel that the servant is unpleasant. He's the kind of human being that I despise the most. I cannot tolerate him on any level. So why is it that I can't completely hate him? It's like that weird Kira-Shirou relationship dynamic. The fuck? Close my eyes and focus on our link. In exchange for the flowing magical energy, sometimes I feel something very refreshing. A feeling of homesickness rubbing against the heart, a prayer resembling longing. How hollow. Hollow Ataraxia. That void tells me something. I don't understand the clear reason why, but it tells me the servant will never betray me. It tells me that he will lend me his chaotic will to grant my wish. Okay. I was hoping that we'd finish this, like, prologue and get to, like, the intro, like, animation song if there is one. But I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to stop the episode here. This is certainly interesting. It's already got the Fate vibes. It's got that unique, Nasu flair with, you know, moving the VN medium forward. I'm really enjoying the soundtrack, and story direction certainly is throwing me for a loop. It's entertaining. It has that same mystery vibe of the original. Like, it banks on the fact that you've played the original, and it does it well by completely throwing you for a loop over and over again and defying your expectations of what's going to happen next. I think that is brilliant. Sequels usually don't do that. It's very clear that you're playing a sequel and it has like a sort of rule that it follows when it does that. But here it's such a different experience, but in a more natural way, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. I'm really interested in Angra here. If it isn't him, then, well, oops. But I'm like 99% sure it is, and this new character, Bazet, who I'm pretty sure is the one that Kirei killed, who was originally Ku's master. We still have that one girl that we don't know anything about, and apparently the world's gonna end in 4 days, and the Holy Grail kind of looks like it's in the sky almost. The moon is certainly something, and the sky is fucked up apparently. There's a string in the sky, Shirou and the crew we're talking about, and then with Bazet here. I'm already interested in the relationship dynamics between Angra and Bazet. I think this is a really good start to the game, is this dynamic that alludes to other dynamics in the original Stana visual novel, while incorporating its inclusion in the narrative that makes complete sense as it parallels other ones like that. I think it's awesome. Now, the reason my voice is getting really hoarse is because I didn't come prepared. I didn't have any water for this recording, like an idiot, so I haven't drinking anything, and my throat is kind of dead. So that's why I just gonna end the episode here. I'm gonna record again easily tomorrow after work, because holy shit, I need to see what happens next. I really want to get to the next part. But I just want to say, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really do. The start of our new Let's Play, a new adventure, the Fate Hall Ataraxia adventure. There's plenty more episodes to come, plenty more Fate content, plenty more things to obsess over, plenty more theories, and plenty more Fate extras coming as well, so stay tuned for that. As I decide on who I'm gonna pick, it's probably gonna be, I'm currently on the fence between Fox and Saber Girl. So yeah, sorry Emiya fans, I can't. I gotta pick a new character. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you stayed all the way to the end of this video, I just want to let you know that I really appreciate it, and I just want to say thank you so very much. It means the world to me. And if you haven't already, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below whatever it is that you desire, as it does help the video get pushed out further, and all that good YouTube retention bullshit. Thank you for watching, and I just want to let you know that whoever you are, wherever you are, whether it's morning, day, evening, or night, please be sure to stay safe and take care out there. Bye-bye.